What followed was a complete life review, with every moment of my existence unfolding at the speed of light. It was not sequential, it was simultaneous. Every action, every thought, every intention, good and bad, appeared in perfect clarity. Each memory arrived like a car in a freight train, carrying knowledge instead of weight. Welcome to Let's Lift the Veil. Some experiences don't just change a life, they redefine reality itself. In this video, you're about to hear a powerful near-death experience that took place in 1984, an accident that pushed a man beyond the limits of the physical world and into a state of awareness few ever return from. What follows is a journey through a life review beyond time, a world tinted in unearthly light, and a moment where faith, prayer, and choice shaped everything that came after. If you're interested in near-death experiences, spirituality, consciousness, or the deeper meaning of life, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and stay until the end, because the final section, My Life, Behind the Veil, reveals how this experience transformed an entire lifetime. Now close your eyes, breathe in, and let's lift the veil together. I never planned to own a church, yet somehow, life placed me exactly where it needed to. As a child, I spent most of my time with my grandparents. They lived in an old schoolhouse built in 1896, sitting quietly near the Mississippi River. That place was filled with stories, silence, and a sense of grounding that followed me into adulthood. Years later, in 1984, a small church near them went up for sale. I bought it without really knowing why. My grandfather laughed and said proudly, "I own the school, you own the church. Between us, we run City Hall." At the time it felt like a joke, but looking back, it feels like a setup. I was working on the church roof when everything changed. That day my grandmother brought me lunch. I climbed down from the roof to take a short break. My brother-in-law was helping me clean up debris from the old roofing, and we sat on the front steps eating together. I was in a hurry. I wanted to get back up and finish laying the felt paper before the day slipped away. For days I had been wearing a rope around my waist for safety, but that afternoon I decided I didn't need it. Thank God I didn't, because a sudden stop halfway down would have surely snapped my back in half. I truly believed I wouldn't fall. But I was wrong. I remember pulling nails out of the boards beneath my feet, unaware that one of them was about to tilt. I felt the shift before I understood it. As I went over the edge of the roof, a calm thought crossed my mind. Maybe it isn't that far. Then I fell. When my body hit the ground, it felt like the momentum of a freight train, traveling at 100 miles per hour, ripped something out of me. I cannot explain it in human terms. I wasn't unconscious in the way we understand it. Instead, I was suddenly somewhere else. I stood up, and everything around me was green. Not just one shade, but every possible shade of green. Light green, dark green, glowing green. The church itself was green. The Mississippi River was green. It was as though I were looking through green-tinted glass, but more alive than anything I had ever seen. I felt no pain, I had no fear, and had no confusion. I thought I had broken my head. I placed my hands on my head and laid back down. And the moment I did, my life exploded into awareness. What followed was a complete life review, with every moment of my existence unfolding at the speed of light. It was not sequential, it was simultaneous. Every action, every thought, every intention, good and bad, appeared in perfect clarity. Each memory arrived like a car in a freight train, carrying knowledge instead of weight. There was no judgment placed upon me. I was the judge. I felt the emotional impact of my actions as they truly were. I remember feeling overwhelming sorrow over something small, like hitting a frog with a stick when I was a child. That pain mattered. Every moment mattered. The final image was my wife and my 2 children, only 2 and 4 years old. Then I heard my grandmother's voice. She was praying over me. As I heard her prayers, I began to pray myself. With everything that I was, I spoke directly to God. I asked Him to let me return. I promised that if He allowed me to raise my children, I would devote my life to Him. In that moment, I placed my faith fully in Jesus Christ and understood without doubt the power of prayer. I reached a boundary, a place I could not cross. I asked to return, and I was sent back. I came back into my body suddenly. I noticed my chest was bruised and darkened, though I didn't yet understand why. Maybe because I had been on pain medication due to recent dental surgery, something I had forgotten to tell the doctors later. What saved my life was a sheet of plywood. The day before, I had asked my brother to clean loose debris around the church. He cleared everything except one piece of plywood, resting on rocks and lumber, raised just over an inch from the ground. That board absorbed the impact of my fall and spared my life. I survived, at least physically, because the man who stood up from that ground was not the same man who had climbed the roof. A year later, I was talking to my grandmother about me falling off the roof, walking around, seeing everything green, holding my head and laying down. My grandmother said, "You fell off the roof, and you never got up until the paramedics put you in the ambulance." I figured she was just old, and couldn't remember because I knew I was walking around. So I called my brother-in-law who was also there, and he said the same thing. "You fell, and laid on the ground until the paramedics put you in the ambulance." And I noticed one other thing. It's impossible for me to hold onto my head with one hand on each side and lay down on the ground, but I know I did it. I guess when God laid me back down in my body, I didn't need my physical arms. My life, behind the veil. Recovery was long, confusing, and painful. I returned home believing my life would simply continue, but it didn't. Shortly after returning home, I got a side job working on a custom home. And on the same day, a week later, I suffered another serious fall that revealed extensive damage from the first accident. I fell 6 feet along the foundation, my arm fell out of its socket, and off to the hospital I went again. This time, they x-rayed the top of my body and they could see that there was a lot of damage. The insurance wouldn't pay for it, because it was a side job. I told them that I fell off a church roof a week before, and this is probably due to this fall, but it didn't help. On the records it stated that I landed on my feet. At the end, dealing with hospitals, paperwork, and limitations became part of my daily life. But something else had changed. My inner world was no longer the same. After my recovery, I began experiencing things I had never known before. My relationship with God became direct and living. Prayer was no longer a ritual. It was communication. Answers came not as words, but as knowing. Over time, spiritual gifts emerged. I began seeing future events through dreams that later came true. I was guided intuitively in moments that carried real consequences. Healing through prayer and laying on of hands became a recurring part of my life, though no one had ever taught me how to do it. I helped people heal. I helped families find peace. I was guided to intervene at moments where timing meant everything, whether helping a man say goodbye to his dying mother or assisting in criminal investigations involving missing children. But these experiences came with a cost. Sharing them often brought skepticism, fear, or distance from others. Some people listened, and some turned away. But I learned that truth doesn't require belief. It requires integrity. My faith deepened beyond denomination. I remained connected to Christianity, but my understanding of God expanded beyond structure. Forgiveness became central, not only in this life, but across lifetimes. One of the most profound lessons I learned was this: forgiveness frees the living far more than it redeems the past. Today I am grateful that I was allowed to raise my children, grateful for a wife who has been my anchor and my interpreter in this world due to my disability. I'm dyslexic, and grateful for every unanswered prayer that later revealed its purpose. I know now that life is not about avoiding death. It is about choosing love every single day, and having a great day is always a choice. Thank you for listening to this near-death experience. Experiences like this invite reflection. Whether you approach them through spirituality, faith, or simple curiosity, near-death experiences continue to raise profound questions about consciousness, purpose, and what may exist beyond this life. If this testimony resonated with you, feel free to share your thoughts or personal experiences in the comments. Respectful dialogue helps keep these stories alive. To support the channel, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear it today. For more first-hand accounts, watch the next episode on the following screen. New narratives drop regularly. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss one. Let's keep lifting the veil, one episode at a time. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. See you soon for another journey beyond the veil.